going to take you through some tips now to help make sure you're performing your kettlebell overhead press safely. First of all, you want to make sure that your hand isn't rotating too much during the press. If you've got a good rack position and a good overhead lockout position, your hand position shouldn't change too much throughout the pressing movement. What you want to avoid is this sort of rotation during the press. As you can see, it puts the kettlebell in a really unsafe position over my head. It makes for a weak lockout position and it puts extra stress on the shoulder joint. You can usually tell when you've rotated too much during the press because your thumb will be turned into your body rather than having your little finger turned in towards your body. You also want to make sure that your elbow is moving vertically. So you don't want your elbow coming out to the side, as again this position here is just going to put a lot of stress on the shoulder joint. So make sure that your elbow is moving straight up and straight down. You also want to make sure that you go through a full range of motion with the press. So you want to go from having your elbow touching your body all the way through to that full lockout position. You don't want to press that looks like this because you won't be getting most of the benefits of the lift. Last but certainly not least, you want to make sure you've got the handle in the correct position on your hand. So it should be locked in on the webbing, locked in on your forearm, and the pressure should be on the heel of your hand. This is a really stable position and it becomes particularly important when you're lifting the kettlebell overhead, because in this position I can stabilize the kettlebell very easily overhead, whereas if the handle's sitting up too high and pulling back on my wrist, it makes it much more difficult to stabilize the kettlebell. It also makes it really uncomfortable on your wrist. So just make sure you've got that good hand position and your pressing will be much safer and much more comfortable.